Greetings, Fansplash fans. It's Jesse Swift and Tyler Hall once again for part 5 of our Journey to Infinity War series, where we are going rewind and reviewing all the MCU films leading up to Infinity War. It's been a lot of fun recollecting, talking about the things we liked and we didn't like, but all the movies thus far, and we have finally reached, I believe we've agreed upon, our favorite film of the original, the MCU, the Phase 1. Not counting Avengers. But that is, of course, Captain America, the first Avenger. That is when we know we are now reaching that point. Everything is coming to a head. The Avengers are coming. We are introducing the last character to be introduced, but actually the first superhero in this world, because the movie does take place in the 40s. And we have Chris Evans, relatively fresh off of the Fantastic Four franchise, and him as Human Torch, not a likely candidate to be Captain America. Hugo Weaving, well known from The Matrix and Lord of the Rings, playing Red Skull, the villain.
Yeah, they'd both done this type of thing before. Hugo Weaving being the villain, Chris Evans being a hero. He was also in a underappreciated film called Push.
Push is very good.
One of my favorites of films that deserve a sequel. Number 1 on the list.
Oh, Jaimon Hounsou, and yeah.
Well, I mean, he won't be in no sequel.
No, not the way that ended.
But yeah, skinny Steve Rogers.
Stanley Tucci. Let's not forget about Stanley Tucci in that movie.
Let's not forget about Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh, yeah.
A weird casting choice for him.
Captain Phillips, but also awesome.
You would never think... It's funny, when I saw that Tommy Lee Jones is going to be in this, I'm like, I would never think that he would be in it, but he is in a comic book movie. He's in Men in Black.
Yes, this is true.
So, yeah, but you get Captain America, who is... They do such a good job of making him Captain America, like this Boy Scout. You know what I mean?
From Brooklyn. He's just a good guy. Like, just an all-around good for the sake of good. I don't like bullies. And everything he says in that film makes you fall in love with him as a character. Like, I love your viewpoint on the world.
Right. And he's so fresh and innocent. And then, obviously, like, he loses Bucky. He goes, into his own a little more. But the movie goes through so many waves, but the pacing is never off.
Right.
I feel like you got the whole Red Skull thing going on the whole time. You got Skinny Steve Rogers, the Super Soldier Serum, him becoming Captain America,
his relationship with Peggy blossoming,
him, touring, doing the USO show, and then him actually like leading missions and stuff, and then obviously like the culmination, the finale, him fighting Red Skull, the Tesseract,
which will come into play.
That ending, man, that ending. Is so good, and
people forget how the movie starts with them modern day finding the shield in the ice when they find the old plane. Sorry,
they found the Titanic. They're gonna find the hope of the ocean or whatever, the jewel's called. It's really cool. The movie itself, it's well done. I think the for a period piece as well. The 40s thing, obviously, it's a lot of it's fictional. Hydra never existed, but I think they do a good time of conveying that tone, the 40s tone, not just with like setting, obviously, but the way that it's filmed.
And they remind us many times throughout this film what America. Not what it is, but what it should be. What we should all aspire to be as Americans, and not just Americans, as people. Like, that's why this movie was marketed. They took the Captain America out and just called it the first Avenger in all the other countries. Because it's something that any country, any person, anywhere can take from and aspire to be like this person.
It's the idea of patriotism. He's a physical manifestation of the symbolic patriotism. And... you got this idea, everybody has this idea in their head of, like, what a perfect America is, and, like, the good old days, and, but you realize, when you do some reading and things that you learn in school, growing up about, like, secret government ops and stuff like that, you realize it was never really the American dream. Right. But that's not to say that, that patriotism shouldn't exist, that we aren't blessed to, like, have, like, to live in a great country, and that we aren't, doing pretty well. Like, I think, we're all pretty well off. So, I love that. You know, you get Captain America, the Boy Scout, the seed of patriotism, the true heart of America. And I think that's exactly what Captain America is supposed to be.
It is. And I think like he's constantly tested and presented with these opportunities that most people would present the wrong response. Stanley Tucci, who plays the scientist that presents him with the opportunity to become more, to become not a better man, but a bigger man essentially, because he's got a good heart. He asks him when you first meet him, because he's tried and failed to apply to the army over and over again, and they always fail him because of asthma and all these defects, his size and everything. Stanley Tucci's character says, "Do you want to kill Nazis?" He's like, "I'm sorry." He's like, "Do you want to kill Nazis?" And he's like, "No, I don't want to kill anybody. I don't like bullies." And so, like, that's why he wants the war to stop, is because of the way that they're treating other people. He just doesn't believe in that that humanity should be that evil. And so it's just, he's got such as innocent responses, and I want to shout like "America" like 10 different times watching it. They have the test in the army with the flagpole. Yeah. You remember that? I mean, there's like 20 years, nobody's gotten this flag down from this pole, and if anyone gets it, they can take a ride back with Miss Carter here. And so Steve just goes over there and pulls the pin out, and the flagpole comes down. He pulls the flag off. That was one of the few, like, the times in the movie I clapped during as an audience member. I was like, that's great. I love this character. I instantly fell in love with this character.
Yeah, I think that that movie was probably the best installment in the first wave before the Avengers, and then once it's done, you realize, holy shit, here comes the Avengers.
That's how it ends. He wakes up in modern day after being stuck in the ice. Meets Nick Fury and is like, "You've been asleep, Cap, for nearly 70 years.
And in we go. And
the post-credit scene for Captain America was the first teaser trailer for the Avengers. Wow. Well, we're coming on the end of Phase 1. So thank you for joining us very much. We ran a little long on this one, but like we said, we both absolutely love this film. I could talk about this movie for an hour by itself. I love the first Avenger. If you haven't seen it, or maybe you didn't love it, go back, revisit it, try to get a fresh perspective on it, because I think it's I think it's one of the most underappreciated films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think it deserves a lot more credit for what it did and accomplished, especially moving forward and looking back on with Bucky and everything else. Anyways, that's all I have to say. So
that's it.
That was the end of Part 5. Looking forward to doing the big one, the first big one, 2012's The Avengers. Never thought it would happen. It did. Reviews coming up. All right, stay tuned, guys. May the film be with you.